Could you imagine going to jail because your brother committed a crime? Living in a world where only a limited selection of haircuts is allowed, and where illegal calls abroad are punishable by death. What seems incomprehensible to us is actually part of everyday life in North Korea. Today, we'll take a look behind the veil of dictatorship and show you the unbelievable bans and rules North Koreans are confronted with every day. Songbun. In theory, all paths are open to each of us. We can decide for ourselves what career we want to pursue, where we want to live, and how we organize our daily lives. However, in North Korea, all these things are tied to one overriding restriction, a restriction called Songbun. Basically, it is a kind of caste system that divides the population into different classes. The social, economic, and political background of the person in question is evaluated, but the behavior of ancestors and relatives still living also plays a significant role. Introduced in the late 1950s under Kim Il-sung, Songbun determines what profession a person can pursue, what social responsibility a person assumes, where he or she is allowed to live, and even whether he or she receives enough food. Those descended from a merchant, a Christian, or a lawyer are placed in the lowest of the three classes. In turn, those whose ancestors fought against the Japanese occupiers in World War II, and those who were simple laborers or farmers from the 1950s onward enjoy the highest standing. If one follows the assessment of CIA analyst Helen Louise Hunter, the favored core class makes up about 30% of the population. The ordinary fluctuating class accounts for 40%, and the undesirable enemy class making up the bottom 30%. The North Korean government, however, denies that Songbun even exists. Allegedly, all citizens are equal. There would be no discrimination based on family background. Punishment of relatives. Whoever commits a crime in North Korea has absolutely nothing to laugh about. Especially bitter, it is not even necessary to come into conflict with the law oneself to be arrested. Thus, numerous testimonies of North Korean defectors prove that in North Korea, 3 family generations of a political offender can be collectively imprisoned and even executed. And in fact, the punishment of relatives even spreads to the children who were born in the prison camps in the first place. Kwangmyong. Who needs the conventional internet when you have the North Korean intranet? Okay, granted, unlike us, the users of Kwangmyong have to make some compromises. For example, just 28 pages can be accessed with the help of the state-controlled network, including the websites of the North Korean news agency and a homepage for North Korean films. Basketball rules. 3 corners, 1 penalty. What in this country are no more than unofficial rules of the football field are part of the official basketball catalog in North Korea. In this country, a dunk counts not 2 but 3 points. If you hit a 3-pointer without touching the hoop, you get 4 points. If a basket is scored in the last seconds of the game, the successful team is even awarded 8 points. In the same breath, however, failures are consistently punished. Whoever misses a free throw gets a point deducted. In fact, Kim Jong-un is a self-confessed basketball and NBA fan. Dennis Rodman has even paid several visits to the dictator, and understandably did not receive only praise from his homeland. Kippum. Kippum is said to be a group of 2,000 women and girls who are there for the private pleasure of the supreme leader and his high-ranking party officials. According to an article in the South Korean newspaper Chosun Ilbo, however, the debauched hours of pleasure are now a thing of the past. The group was disbanded after the death of Kim Jong-un. As compensation, the ladies received a sum of money equivalent to $4,000, as well as a declaration of secrecy, which condemned them to absolute silence. Fecal fertilizer. According to some reports, last year, North Korea encouraged its citizens to use their own feces to make fertilizer. The background: for a long time, the country had sourced its fertilizer from China. However, this trade collapsed along with a number of other goods after North Korea closed its borders at the onset of the corona pandemic. As a result, ensuing adequate supply of fertilizer became an official people's struggle. Traffic ladies. In our latitudes, the traffic light has replaced the traffic policeman many decades ago. However, things are somewhat different in Pyongyang. Here, cars are still guided by pretty young women in sleek blue uniforms. Over time, the famous traffic ladies have become something of a cult icon themselves. Far from the capital, however, female traffic cops are in short supply. Here, the job is typically done by men. On May 5, 2013, a certain Rikon Sim was even awarded the Order of the Hero of the Republic. This award is usually given only to those who have performed heroic deeds in wartime or made significant contributions to the development of the country and the party. Ri received the medal because she death-defyingly protected the dictator in an unexpected situation, according to the North Korean state media. But what the traffic cop really did is largely unknown. Cars. While we're on the subject of road traffic, driving is an all-male affair in North Korea. There are no conventional driving schools, and anyone who wants to obtain a driver's license must do so through the military. From then on, it is still a long way to owning a car. Only particularly honorable citizens are granted a car. As a rule, the streets of Pyongyang are therefore dominated by blue license plates, which signal state ownership. Most of the population gets from A to B on foot or by bicycle. Public transportation, in turn, includes trolleybuses and subways, including some discarded and repainted trains from Berlin. Hairstyles. Those who are loyal citizens wear one of the 28 permitted haircuts that Kim Jong-un officially ordered in 2013. While women are still allowed to choose between 18 different hairstyles, the selection of men is limited to 10. Well, unless you're a student. In spring 2014, various media reported that it is henceforth mandatory for this group to wear Kim Jong-un's haircut. I wonder if this is related to the fact that the dictator was named Sexiest Man Alive in 2012. Originally, the Fun Award was given by the US satire website The Onion. However, the title was subsequently taken up by the Chinese state press and spread seriously. According to them, Kim, with his stunningly handsome round face and stocky figure, is the dream of all women made flesh. Fashion police. Clothes make the man. The country's determination to control every aspect of its citizens' lives is also reflected in the installation of the fashion police. In detail, these are paid members of the Socialist Patriotic Youth League. According to them, skimpy clothing is completely inappropriate. Sun hats look suspicious, and blue jeans are taboo anyway. Basically, the outfit must not look foreign above all else. Particularly idiosyncratic, a few years ago, Kim Jong-un even forbade the wearing of leather coats, probably so that no one would dispute his personal look. K-pop. While K-pop has been riding an international wave of success for quite some time, Korean-language pop music could not be more hated in the dictatorial North. Kim Jong-un called this music genre a malignant cancer. Basically, the country warns its people against everything that somehow has to do with South Korea, including fashion, hairstyles, and just music, a deep rejection that even spills over into language. South Korean women, for example, often use the term oppa for their husbands. In the North, this is now forbidden. Calendar. In 1997, 3 years after the death of Kim Il-sung, the so-called Church's calendar was introduced in North Korea. Established by the same dictator, the political church's ideology is inseparably linked to the personality cult around the ruling Kim family. Accordingly, the corresponding calendar begins with the year of Kim Il-sung's birth, since the latter was born on April 15, 1912, just in time for the sinking of the Titanic. The year 2023 thus corresponds to the year 112 of the church's calendar. Phone calls. Those who manage to escape from the clutches of the dictatorship have to pay a high price. For example, it is virtually impossible for North Koreans who have fled to contact their family members who have stayed behind. In principle, international calls may only be made using monitored landline telephones. However, this requires a visit to a government post office and approval of the contents of the call. While North Korean cellular phone service only works domestically, relatives must resort to smuggled cell phones to contact their fled loved ones if the worst comes to the worst. However, this is punishable by law. Anyone caught doing so risks imprisonment in a penal camp or worse. Jeans. If you plan to combine a pair of skinny jeans with a mullet, you'll be looking down the tube in North Korea, because these two fashion tricks have been officially banned in the communist country since 2021. While the skinny jeans are considered a sign of the invasion of the capitalist lifestyle, the aforementioned hairstyle catalog has also been reduced by another 13 cuts. Contraception. Unbelievable but true. Many North Koreans do not even know that something like condoms exist at all. Although the contraceptives appeared on the black market there a few decades ago, the corresponding demand was not particularly high. Nowadays, it is almost impossible to buy condoms in North Korea. Against this background, it is probably not surprising that North Koreans are world champions in contraception with the IUD. While only 5.4% of women between the ages of 16 and 49 use IUDs worldwide, the figure there is a staggering 74%. And with that, thank you for watching our video all the way to the end. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons to support us for free and stay up to date at the same time. Before you take a look at the other videos in the credits, we'd like to ask your opinion. What do you think about the regulations and prohibitions that apply in North Korea? Could you imagine living in such a world? We're looking forward to your comment. And with that, we say ciao and see you next time.